We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2094. Today, Jill and I are talking about, well, all week, we're actually talking about reframing your mindset for 2025. You know, this week, it's the new year.
Yes, it is. You had to pause.
It just hit me.
What's going on? What's
It's
going
2025.
on? Isn't that wild? I wonder how much of it is because we were gone for 6 months.
Yeah.
Although I felt like sometimes when we were gone for 6 months in the RV, it felt like just a minute. And sometimes it felt like a decade.
I love you too, sweetheart.
So yeah. I was talking to someone last night, actually. So truth time, I'm not my best self today. So we were out last night, and I met this woman for the first time. She's like, she's my age, and she's on her second or third marriage. Not sure. Anyway,
She's not sure.
No, I am not sure. She's sure. So anyway, before her fiance got there, she's like, he's been trying to get me to do this RV thing. She's like, and it's funny because I am sure everyone sees RVing like Christmas vacation with Chevy Chase.
Or worse.
Yeah, they all think, okay. And our friends were telling us this other story too about, buying an Airstream sight unseen. It was in 1974.
Finally did see it.
They're like, what have we done? So now it's just a prop in their backyard, basically. So anyway, that was so funny because, and I was thinking, what do people think when they think of us? And I'm here to tell you, it's not like that at all.
It's totally, we've spent 6 months in an RV this summer going up and down the Rocky Mountains, and it's not our first time. This is our third summer doing it. We knew what to expect. I knew what to expect on the outside. You did on the inside. You meet a lot of people and you tell them we're in an RV. We've been in an RV for a few months. They're either it causes an immediate reaction for everybody. They're horrified. Most people are horrified.
Well, I'm going to say it's gender specific.
Most people are horrified.
Okay.
And some people are, I've just always wanted to do that. Please tell me everything. But you don't get a lot of in-between lukewarm opinions about it. But is it gender specific?
I see women going, oh, and I see the men are like, freedom.
So, everybody's had a camping experience. Everybody. When you're a little kid, you probably slept in a tent. I did way more than just a handful of times. It's just how we grew up in Michigan. This is not a tent experience. This is not an outhouse experience or any of that. We have a full-size residential washer and dryer and a refrigerator and all of that. It's just you're moving your house to cool places. That's essentially what we do.
It's a condo on wheels. Yeah. Kind of like a yacht.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, no, I understand. I think you can spend there's a lot of RVs on the market that have 2,300 miles on them.
Yeah.
That seems to be
people's break point.
They've tried it. 2,300 miles is about a medium summer trip.
That's like, all right, she gave me this, now we're selling it. Yep. It didn't work. But my point today was, it's like, here we are going on into 2025, and I am personally excited.
Me too.
I'm excited for business reasons. I'm excited for personal reasons. I'm excited for this real estate market shakeup coming up. And, however you vote, it doesn't matter. I'm excited for something different. That's a good thing.
Look, this is a great way to kick off this week. Jill and I are financially done. And we have been for a lot of years. We continue to run Land Academy and as enthusiastically as possible. Both of us show up for Land Academy to teach new, usually younger people how to buy and sell real estate. This whole week, we're talking about reframing your mindset for 2025. Coming from two people who reframed their mindset a long, long time ago separately.
This is good.
And we are now done. So I feel very qualified to talk about what it's going to take, no matter where you are in your career, to change what's going on in your head, because it has to change in your head first before it changes in your actions, so that you can be independently wealthy.
Brilliant. I'm happy to be here. Happy to sit next to you. These are good shows you have.
Today's Monday. We're going to talk about buying a piece of land and reselling it for more. That's been our business model for since the beginning of all of this.
Decades.
It couldn't be more simple. On Tuesday, we'll talk about defining clear goals and removing everything that's in your way. How do I know what's in your way? Because it was in my way. And we're going to hear from Jill too, because a lot of this stuff Jill and I haven't really talked about in great detail. I got started and she got started down this path separately. And we joined forces probably 10 or 15 years after that. And we've been together doing it for 10 or 15 years, and it's worked. On Wednesday, we're going to implement these 5 daily habits until you see automatic and direct financial results, until it just becomes a habit, and that now it's your life. It's not something that you're attempting. On Thursday, we'll we're going to talk about reviewing your personality and making the appropriate changes that are conducive to being wealthy.
Oh, always my favorite. I love when I have to talk about my personality. Just joking.
I
know.
You can talk about mine.
Okay.
If you have a lazy personality.
It doesn't say review your character flaws. So I do
About the
appreciate
same
it.
thing.
All right, here we go.
If you are just a lazy person and you don't feel like working that hard,
Might not be for you.
There's a better podcast for you.
Yeah. It's called How's Your Commute Today?
Yep. It's cheaper to live in Mexico.
Yeah, there we go.
On Friday, we'll finally talk about implementing the path toward your financial reward. Not joking about Mexico at all.
Yeah.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum, and we take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular request.
Okay. Brenton wrote, my first mailer has been marked sent to printing, so it should be hitting soon. I'm very excited about it. When I reach an agreement price with a seller, I know I need to have a signed purchase agreement before I can move forward and search for a funding partner. However, I'm a bit unclear on the process involving the title company. Once I have the signed PA, should I immediately call the title company and open escrow, or should I wait until I secure a funder? Also, what type of timeline do you give the seller to complete due diligence before finalizing the price? 1 day, a few days, or a week? I know I'll learn more about this as I engage with sellers, but I'd like to have a general idea of what to expect so I can set reasonable expectations for them. Is that the end of the question? Oh, as Jill mentioned, I'm already in the process of identifying local title companies and lenders to be ready to move quickly once a deal is in place. This is a good basic easy question, Brenton. So awesome. You have an agreement with the seller. Well, first of all, let me put the questions kind of in order. So, I've completed my due diligence. We need to finalize a price. How much time do I give the seller? I'm going to say 1 day, 1 to 2 days. Don't go past that. 1, 2, 3 days, I'm good with that. If you go into a week, they're going to change their mind. Now they're not interested. Now they're going to talk to their family. Now it's going to come up at church. And, there's always going to be like, you're going to sell what for what? Well, shoot, I'll give you that.
Time kills deals.
Yep.
You want to strike while the iron's hot on not only this, but everything.
My personal goal, my favorite is, I understand you need to sleep on it. I get it. How about this? I'll call you tomorrow morning. Give you and your wife time to sleep on it.
Yeah.
And I'll call you tomorrow morning, and we'll wrap up any last questions, and I can get title open tomorrow. Okay.
If they change their mind, they change your mind.
Right.
You never want to be pushy, and you never want to talk somebody into doing something they don't truly want to do.
Right.
The vast majority of the deals that we've done have been that have garnered a response like this. Oh, your timing's perfect. I just got your letter. What's the next step? We need to move to Massachusetts, and I need to sell the property.
Right. There we go. So then the second question is, okay, we gave them that day. We call them back, and they're like, and this is where they say, okay, Brenton, we're ready to go. We got you. We talked about it. It's going to work out great. Thank you. What's the next step? And you're saying, you know what? give me a couple hours. I'm calling Susie, go to ABC Title, because you, Brenton, already had that lined up. You already talked to Susie. You know how long it's going to take and all that. Like, I've already talked to Susie. She can close this in about 15 business days. I make sure I've got all the information, blah, blah, blah. That's how fast you open title. Now, after you call Susie and you get title open and all that good stuff, now you're like, okay, now I'm looking around going, I need someone to lend me $25,000 because I don't have it. That's where your big question is. I need to secure a funder for that. Really easy to say, hey, it's closing in 15 days. You can submit it to us directly. You can put it in our Discord base, under partnership wanted. There's lots of people out there, and then it'll come. And then if you need to change any paperwork on the back end, like you need a new purchase agreement or something like that, once you secure, whatever, maybe it's me and escrow says, that's great, I just need this to redone to show Jill's name is buying it, not your name buying it, Brenton. No problem. And that's really easy to do. It takes minutes. So
I don't want you to overcomplicate this. Jill's done this literally thousands of times. And so she gets into a description that's pretty lengthy. Here's what happens. The seller says they want to sell it. You ask them to sign the agreement and send it back. The reason you do that is because you want to know they're serious about selling it. And they mentally have signed something, so they're now a real seller. What I do when that moment happens is look up the property and see if I actually want to buy it and confirm that the price is okay, it's got access, and run through all the due diligence. I want to super clarify something you say here. What timeline do you give the seller to complete due diligence? Sellers don't do due diligence. You do. You're the buyer. So you want to make sure you want to buy the property. I really can't emphasize that enough. It's very often that we say we just don't want to buy it, or we want to change the price. Once you've decided you want to buy it and you have a signed purchase agreement, you call the title company and say, I'd like to open escrow. I'm buying a piece of property. And they're going to say, what's your email address? I'm going to send you a list of the stuff that I need. And you'll send it to them. And that's it. Make sure that you tell the escrow agent that you are bringing on a partner and you don't know exactly what name the property should go into when you buy it. That's all. This is, of all the things that we do, this is maybe the least complicated, most mechanical, least emotional, almost always works portion of what we do. So the good news is this: you're part of Land Academy. So as soon as it happens, please reach out to anybody in the group, even people on our staff, and say, this is my first time doing this, and I need some reassurance. There's no shame in that. First time doing anything can be scary.
Isn't it lovely? You get two different answers because you got two different people.
Yeah,
it's all good.
You should listen to the person who's done it more, and that's Jill.
Oh, thanks.
Today's topic: buy a piece of property and resell it for more. That could be mic drop. That's the whole show. I've said this many times. Jill and I, over the course of our time together, are asked this question just like you. What did you guys do for a living? It happened last night. I buy property and resell it for more. And if you are unpleased with your financial situation in life, I would encourage you to buy a piece of property and resell it for more. That, just like we were talking about earlier, that sentence brings out a lot of immediate reactions from people. What are some of the reactions that you've gotten from people when you say that?
Well, what do you do to it?
Yeah. How do you find a piece of property where you can sell it for more? Why would somebody sell a property for less than it's worth?
That's usually, or they assume I do something to it, or they assume I hold it for like a decade. Like, nope and nope.
Or if they're a rancher, like in the case of last night, they immediately judge you.
Yeah.
They don't. Ranch land is not, we don't do this with ranch land.
Yeah.
Why? Not because we can't make money, just because it's not the best piece of property to do this with. Not the best type of property. Property that's going to be built on or is worth less than the environment. It's worth more than the environment that it's being presented in today. That's not, that's the type of property we're going to buy, and it's almost never ranch land. So in the simplest form, I would if you are in the beginning of your career or you're making some career changes or life changes and it's the new year in a few days, write this down on the mirror and look at it every single morning. This is all you're responsible for doing for the rest of your life if that's what you choose. And it'll keep food on your table and probably a lot more than that.
I do have to add one thing that I notice a lot of people doing. Be specific too. Don't just buy it. Because I watch people like, I'm going to buy it. Oh, okay, Jack. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what you said. I'm going to buy anything I can get my hands on and sell it for more, which is good. / however, it can get nutty. Because I put out a call for help for BOG to help us out in some areas of the country. Boots on the ground for houses. And I got some people came back with a plethora of experience, and it was a little scattered. I'm like, I did this house, I did this apartment, I did this land, I did this. I'm like, okay, well, how do you, you're never going to get good at one thing if you're doing this over here and this over here and this over here. So I was going to say, one thing for me is when you're new and you're starting out, if you're watching this, but buy a piece of property, resell it for more, sticky note, make it specific, make it easier. And buy a piece of land and resell it for more, or buy a piece of rural vacant land and sell it for more. Buy a piece of land for this much money and sell it for this much money. If you add even some things like that, it's going to make your life easier and make your job you're going to be focused on just that. I would personally say, like on my sticky note would be, buy a piece of rural vacant land that's more than an acre for around $30,000 and sell it for $80,000. You think I'm kidding?
No. This
This
is the worst idea I've ever heard.
Why?
All right, you know what? If you've been...
Because then I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, but now you're putting yourself in a box.
Because I want to be specific.
Listen, when you're young or when you're changing careers, maybe you're a real estate agent and you're tired of it. Maybe you're an accountant and you can't take even one more day at work. Put a freaking sticky note on your mirror and say, all you got to do is buy a piece of property and resell it for more. You don't need to give yourself a laundry list of instructions about which county it's going to be in, what the buy and sell amounts are for, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to do instead. You can listen to mom or you can listen to dad.
Here we go. Hey, did you guys hear the show yesterday? They didn't agree about one thing other than their stupid RV. If I hear one more story about how great that is, I'm like, and they're still together, whatever. But everything else didn't agree about any of it.
Go on Zillow. Go to the county where you are sitting or where you live, or an adjacent county, but something that you're familiar with where you're looking at the map.
Well, that's going to come.
That's why, that's exactly right. That's why the piece of note should say, buy a piece of property and sell it for more. I feel like crap today. My boss is an idiot. Well, then why don't you buy a piece of property and sell it for more? That's the point to this.
Okay.
Not let's buy a piece of property for $30,000 and resell it for $80,000. It's only can be rural vacant land. I was making
my life easier.
And it can only be in Wayne County, Michigan.
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but I was going a step further, but okay.
Go on to Zillow. In any county that's got more than 10 or 15 active properties or sales, it could be land, could be houses, could be anything. Somewhere in there is the best deal that's for sale. You need to start to automatically train yourself to look for the best deal in a market. Am I saying that you should pull the trigger and buy it? Absolutely not. I would not recommend that. But what I want you to do is just that's just now your life. I probably spend, for better or for worse, 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, usually in my spare time, looking at markets like that. Whether it's Zillow or Realtor.com, or usually now it's Redfin. Redfin's got more detail and it's presented in a way that's a little bit better. These are on the market MLS properties. Eventually, what will happen if you do this is all in the name of that sticky note. What will happen is you're going to say, I don't know. I need more information. I need more information about this market. I can't make a completely and a totally informed decision about what the SFR breakpoint is, a single family residential house breakpoint. And there's just not very much land for sale for here. Why? So now you can go start digging into other sources all over the internet. And congratulations, now you're a real estate investor. If you can't stand the idea of this, then you don't really need to listen to the podcast for the rest of the week. All you're supposed to do for the rest of your life to get incredibly wealthy, to get as wealthy as you would like to be, is buy a piece of property and resell it for more. Join us tomorrow. It's Tuesday. We talk about defining clear goals and removing everything that's in your way. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We are Jack and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.